Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Anime Territory. I am your host this week, Benjamin Shapping, and with me, as always, is my co-host, member of the Ami is Best Girl in Toradora fan club, Johnny Ruha. How are you?
That's right, she's best girl. I'm doing better than you. Should we address the elephant in the room that...
I'm sick.
Yeah. So we are, we've both received our full vaccinations. Yours is hitting you a little bit harder than mine.
Yeah.
So... we will power through this episode because we really don't have time to do it any other point.
Just be aware that Johnny might be talking a little bit more than me, but
even though you're hosting this
the
week,
show must go on.
we didn't want to this early soon. We didn't want to postpone an episode because it's just slippery slope. We're just going to postpone more of them in the future. We start getting lax.
Okay, so this episode, we are going to be mainly reviewing the anime Yuru Camp, also known as Laid Back Camp, as well as introducing a new topic. Which, you just want to go right into it?
Yeah, so this is going to be, I think, tentatively called Anime Update. So we're going to talk about some of the shows that we've already talked about and watched more of.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I've seen all of the When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace, which was a previous rule of 3.
Yep.
We both watched all of Konosuba Season 2 and the movie recently.
Not recently.
Well, this is a couple weeks ago.
It's like a month ago.
Well, whatever. We watched it. It's still fresh in my brain. I've seen that show and movie before.
Glad it's in your brain.
I mean, parts of it are. I know the gist of what happens. We're not going to be as spoilery with this section as we are typically, just because, like Ben said, it's been a little bit. Yeah. So we'll give our general impressions, what we think. If our impressions changed after, like, okay, do we recommend this or do we recommend to queue it or whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, the first thing we should talk about though is last episode when we watched Rail Wars. We had our first disagreement on Best Girl. So I put up a poll on Twitter, and the people have spoken. 3 votes for Sakurai and 1 vote from you for the other girls. So
it hurts. It hurts. People just don't get it.
I mean, I'll be honest, Ben. I don't know who voted, other than I know both of us voted. But they might not have seen the show. They might not know. So maybe their opinions will change. But it's too late now. The vote's been cast. 4 years of Sakurai.
Okay.
So, I guess I can talk about when Supernatural Battles become...
Yeah, you want to start with Supernatural Battles?
Yeah. So this, like I said on the first episode, I pretty much started watching this as soon as we finished recording.
Yeah, basically.
Watched some more of it. It wasn't that long of a show. It was a little bit... It was more of the... There weren't a lot of battles. There was a few more.
Okay.
We met like another group of characters that, like, one of them was the older brother of the main girl character, and we got a little bit of an insight as to why they have superpowers, even though the characters still haven't figured this out, and they've been kind of deliberately left in the dark about why they have these powers. It kind of ends with a like, all right, here's bait. Go read the light novels and hope for a second season. But I guess it didn't do well enough at this point to warrant the second season. But it was interesting. I liked it. There was a fun. The main character whose power is basically useless. There's a fun twist on his power. It got a little dark, and I really liked it. But I won't say anything more than that. But all in all, I would say I'd probably move it to Q.
Okay.
I was more like gung-ho to watch it after the first episode. After seeing all of it, I'm like, you really don't need to watch it, but if you're bored and you like the same kind of garbage that I like, it'll be a fun evening. I used to watch shows like that one a night, some summers or whatnot. Just be like, it's 7 o'clock. I can fit a 13-episode anime in.
So I watched, 3 episodes right in the middle, so I missed a bunch of stuff. But the episodes I watched was really good because it was like a harem episode. So I was all for that. I'd still probably keep it in queue though.
Now I'm still not 100% sure where you fall when it comes to harem-like shows, because I admit that those shows are garbage, but I gobble them up because
I like a good harem.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like watch.
You're not going to search them out, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I'm always like I'm trying to find things. I'm like I think Ben would like this, but I can never quite nail down unless it's like Steins Gate or Fate Zero. It's like, well, these are amazing shows, so of course he's going to like them. But some shows that I'm like, oh, this is like a 7 or an 8 for me, will be like a 5 or a 6 for you. It feels like, and I'm like, I missed the mark. I can't quite keep you. Like I would say like My Bride is a Mermaid. I gave that when I originally watched it like a 7 or an 8. I thought it was really fun and funny.
That's like a 6 for me, maybe.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, we only watched the first 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Might get a little bit better, but it was. But my opinion of it changed too. Watching those 13 episodes, there's more of these like comedy bits where it's like I don't care about this character. Quit getting in the way of the sexy scenes.
Sometimes you just don't want the bits.
Yeah, it's. But can we at least agree that Shark Fujishiro is a great character?
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Just kept accidentally turning back into a shark. I don't know. That we watched the 13 episodes of that. Maybe I'll eventually get you to watch the second 13. But so that's when supernatural battles become commonplace. We also watched Konosuba season 2 and the movie, which I don't know if the movie is adapted one of the books or if they did that thing where they'll make a movie that's kind of unrelated.
Yeah,
the ending definitely felt like something that was thrown in. Meaning like they had the big climactic battle and then like she refused to die and then all the other enemies from the show came back and they were a giant monster and it was like, wait, what's the reasoning for this? They just didn't want to die.
I don't know.
It felt like a big climactic ending that didn't really need to be there. But like some of the character moments and stuff were in the movie were great. You get more a Best Girl, Megumin. So
Megumin movie, basically.
Yeah, you go back to her village. You meet her little sister and her parents. Yeah. And when they realize that Guzma's about to make a bunch of money, they're like,
yeah, marry her, marry our daughter. Like Megumin's mom wants them to have sex.
It's just like you're gonna be sleeping in this room, and then they lock them in. And yeah, it was good stuff. Season 2 was probably a little bit better than season 1, maybe.
I would say so.
You get more Yun.
You get more character stuff, I think.
You go visit a hot spring town.
That was a pretty good arc.
It's just you go visit a town where they worship Aqua, and then by the end of it, they all hate Aqua. She keeps purifying the hot spring.
They're basically a cult, and they just keep trying to get everybody, the 3 other ones, to join.
Yeah, they're like aggressive pyramid scheme cult.
And what's her darkness gets turned on by it because they keep throwing stones at her.
Yeah, there's a scene where it's like, oh yes, your friend, she's being stoned by the children. It's like, but she loves it because she worships the other goddess Eris, and they do not like her. So
they keep spitting when they say her name. It's
funny. It's like. That was some good stuff. That was some fun things.
But yeah, I would say overall, season 2 is probably a little bit better than season 1. But as a whole, I think it's a really good like comedy. If you want like a good comedy, I would say I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, season 2 they don't have to introduce you to the characters. They can just let the characters exist as they are. Darkness has got some great moments in season 2. I mean, they all do, but
I like that evil scientist guy just keeps showing up. He's like the root of all the problems.
Wait, which guy?
That like evil scientist guy. He like builds.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he was the one who built the destroyer. That was the season 1 climax, and then there was the episode where he shows up again. I think is actually non-canonical. It was an OVA episode, but they have to go fight a golem, but it's like a giant robot, and they find his diary, and they were like, "Oh, it's that guy." And then the movie, he's the one who created a bunch of stuff in the movie too. They're like, "Hey, it's that guy showing up again."
He like defeated like the MacGuffin, or the I don't know the term. Is it the MacGuffin or the
Deus Ex Machina?
Yeah, that might be the better one to use.
Because a MacGuffin is like. That's when that's like the Maltese Falcon. Yeah. You have to we have to get this thing. Why? Because the plot says that we have to get this thing. It doesn't have like a function beyond that. So I think what you're thinking of is Deus Ex Machina.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah. It's not like a beginning Maltese Falcon. It's kind of like the stuff happens and like, oh, now we need this thing.
Yeah, I would say maybe it's a little out of the MacGuffin territory. I'm thinking about it because it was a weapon that they needed to defeat the
bad guy.
The bad guy once they had access to a different weapon that he made. But I would say there's a point to it. They needed to get the bad guys needed to get the weapon that they wanted so that they could just defeat Megumin's village, which is filled with overpowered mages.
Yeah.
That were also learned that they were bioengineered humans that one scientist made. A little weird. And then so that was like they needed that to defeat that, and then so maybe that was a little bit of MacGuffin, but they used it to grow in power. I don't know. It kind of blurs the line. We're not film critics. I can't say what's a MacGuffin.
Anyways, movie was good too. Season 2 is really good. In terms of review, I definitely watch it. I think I gave season 1 a 7. So as a whole, I'd probably bump it up to an 8.
I would probably say 8 for the whole show. Yeah. Whole show plus movie 8 as one package deal. Sometimes a movie is transcendently better or transcendently worse than a show. Sometimes a movie is just blah. Like the My Hero movie was like, okay. Yeah. Just like kind of a...
I got the first one because I didn't see the second one.
I haven't seen the second one either. I mean, we watched the first one together, so...
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we? I remember that.
But, 8 for Konosuba altogether. I wanted to bring this up on the last episode and tweeted saying, hey, I might bring this up on the next episode. And I didn't. So now we did. So we covered that.
Okay. So let's go into our main topic, Yuru Camp. So this anime is fairly new. I think season 2 just aired last season.
Okay.
And I think this one's came out in like 2018, 2019? I don't know. But it's fairly new. But I've seen this one already.
Yeah, this is a first for the podcast. This is an anime that you've seen that I've not seen.
Yes. Oh, that's a first.
So, I mean, you're the one. You're like, hey, let's cover this show, and let's take off of work because I was taking off of work anyway. I need to use vacation days, but you're like, I'll also take off work, and we can go camping and do an episode
camping special.
So we did go camping. Yep. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's talk about the show first.
Yep. So general thoughts. So this show is, I think, great. I think it's very cute. It's very solid. It's a great slice of life if you're looking for slice of life.
I went into this show expecting to be like whatever. Because I can appreciate slice of life for what it is.
Okay.
But I don't typically seek it out, or like a lot of times if it's getting a little bit too samey, I'm like,
I got you.
I'm just gonna get out of here. I need a little bit of spice.
I think it's an easy genre to kind of like either make it blah or just not like get it right.
Yeah, but I did end up really liking this show mainly because I've got a big history of camping, and I was like, man, I haven't been camping, like genuinely camping, in a while, and this is making me want to go like I should go buy a camp.
I was watching this in the winter. As I was watching it the first time, I'm just like, man, I want to go camping.
So, I mean, do we want to talk a little bit about our camping experiences? Because we both have a history of camping, but very vastly different histories.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get into that. You want to start?
Yeah. So I'm an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
So I've been
humble brag.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been involved with the Boy Scouts since I was in first grade when I was in a Cub Scout. Which, if I had the chance, I would have taken the kindergarten, but that wasn't a thing back then. I mean, it was a thing, and they stopped it, and they brought it back recently.
I did 1 year of Cub Scout.
Yeah, I remember. I basically begged you to do it. Yeah. So, and my older brothers were both Cub Scouts. My oldest brother was a Boy Scout, but never made it to Eagle. A lot of times, with the Boy Scouts, you kind of start stopping. going to things when you can start driving and you have a job and like high school sports and activities to do. You lose interest because it no longer becomes a priority. I was lucky enough that when I turned 15, I got a job working summers at the Boy Scout summer camp I went to.
Which I hated because I had nothing to do.
Yeah, you literally just hung out with me.
Yeah,
I was gone for a month.
I was 16, so I could have driven to your house every day, but no, you had to
I
work
was
in Pana.
You could have driven to Pana on my night off.
Nah, I don't love you that much.
But it was. I made a lot of friends there. I worked when I was 15 and 16. I didn't work when I was 17. It was my last year in Scouts, and we were planning a big trip to West Virginia to go whitewater rafting. And that would... I see you. We love the song Country Roads.
Can't just say West Virginia and not say Take Me Home.
Yeah, it's a great song.
We can't get into this topic. Keep going.
Can I just say it's a perfect song?
Yes.
Watch Whisper of the Heart.
We'll talk about it later.
Whisper of the Heart, and we'll gush about it some more.
We're going to talk about Take Me Home, Country Roads for 30 minutes. We just don't stop. So
okay,
keep going.
Anyway, so it didn't work when I was 17 because I would have missed one of the camper weeks. And I couldn't miss a week of the 4 weeks of work. But then I came back when I was 18. I was in a management position at that point. I was in charge of an area, and I did that for 4 years. So I think I ended up working 6 years.
Didn't know you worked that long, man.
I did it through most of college. The only reason I stopped was because I was out of college and I had a full-time job, and they don't let you take off a month in the summer for a full-time job. So, but I've got a lot of fun memories, a lot of fun friends. I'm still pretty shit at building fires, but...
Yeah, I learned that this week.
I can start a fire pretty quick. I just don't have the patience to build up the actual kindling that you need. Yeah. I can light some tinder on fire with the flint and steel pretty easily.
Oh yeah, it looked like you struggled a little bit.
I got it in 4 strikes.
Okay. You're bragging how you could do it in 1.
I could do it in 1 when I was in practice. I haven't done it in about 3 years. Okay. So I was pretty proud of what I was able to do there. I should note I'm using a fire starting flint and steel, not an actual rock and a piece of metal. I'm using flint and steel designed to create sparks easier. But there's still a talent to it. It's fun, but we gave up eventually and then just used the lighter fluid.
Yeah, you just doused it with lighter fluid.
I wouldn't say doused.
Put a bunch on.
I put a healthy amount on there so that it would burn long enough to catch the actual wood on fire. But we were getting cold because we'll go into this later. But no, this show, I went in expecting to be all right, we'll watch this show that Ben watched without me, and I'll probably have some good things to say about it, but it's just kind of cute girls doing cute things, which I don't normally go for.
Which surprises me.
Well, there's just I'm not very into Yuri shows either. I don't know. It's just something I can't self-insert.
Okay.
And this show, there's not enough spice. Need a little bit of drama and spice to excite these bones of mine.
Nah.
But I don't know. If it wasn't about camping, I don't think I would have liked this show as much. Okay. Is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't watched enough cute girls doing cute things. Maybe we need to cover K-On! Or something in the future.
Okay. So my experience with camping is, my family goes camping a lot, but it's camper camping. So we don't use tents and stuff. We use an RV and we just camp like that, which you think is cheating.
Yeah.
And you might be right. But again, we go camping a lot. It's camper though, so we sleep inside. There's a bunch of easy tools, so it's not as hardcore, but it's fine. I like camping.
Well, I've just always been of the mind you should at least sleep in a tent.
Nah.
And I'll sometimes just because I taught wilderness survival, so I'll just throw up a tarp with some twine and sleep on the ground a lot.
I can't do that.
No, I don't blame it. I definitely when doing the overnight stay for that class, I'd always like get up at like 4 a.m, send them back so that they get at least a couple of hours on their cot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's the best sleep you get in camp is that hour or two after the wilderness survival when you're back in your. I actually, when I was working there, I had like a little bunk bed thing. It wasn't a bunk bed, but it was like a steel frame with a little flimsy mattress on it.
Gotcha.
But no, I'm mostly used to tent camping, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm camping.
I'm of the mind that you put up your tent and then you sit around the fire and you read a book and you talk to your Boy Scout friends about Naruto, and that's the fond memories I have. That's how I learned about Red versus Blue for the first time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there was something. I was talking to Gabe and Chad, and I'm like, what is this that they're talking about? And then I had to go watch it, and it's like, oh, okay. Now I've got a lifelong fascination with Rooster Teeth.
So mine's basically the same thing. It's just sit around the camper or fire, talk to your family about just random stuff over and over again, play cards. That's it.
Yeah, we'd play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh too, and then eventually.
Well, my family did not play Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
we are a Pinnacle family.
Yeah, we play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot with my camping friends, and then eventually it turned into Magic. Which when I started working at summer camp, that actually started my lifelong fascination with Magic too. Or not started, but kind of gave it a kick in the pants. Because my older brother was into it.
I thought your brother played it.
Yeah, he was into it. I had like a deck that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing it with some friends at like a 3rd grade birthday party or something. Maybe it was a little bit. I definitely remember playing it on our friend Brandon's birthday party with him and Brock.
I don't know if I was there.
I've played it. I don't know. That was a pretty early memory there. 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere around there. So like I played it here and there, but then when I turned 15, it's like, oh, there's lots of people here who play it.
Yeah.
So I bought cards. This was in 2010. I bought cards, and I had bought a deck and one booster pack before, I think, of my own. Otherwise, using my brother's cards. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can just buy cards. I have a job now where I make money. And I'm not just my summer camp job. But
you just want to buy Magic cards.
Yeah. And so, and I'm still playing that, spending way too much money on it 11 years later. So, and then that
might have been why we didn't have time to do a Rule 3 this week.
We might have been sorting through cards going like, got thousands of cards that I'm never going to use. Which ones do I want to keep and which ones should I give to my nephews? So,
okay. So, do you want to get into the actual show?
Yeah. So there's not much to talk about this show.
Not a whole lot.
I've mentioned before, it's pretty devoid of spice. It's
devoid of spice.
Yeah, there's no drama or like sudden
sugar spice.
It's got plenty of sugar. It's very sweet.
But no spice.
No spice. Nothing too
shots.
dramatic. The most spicy I would say it would get was when our main character Rin was like, I'm gonna take this shortcut, and then the road was closed. Or like I fell asleep at the hot spring and now it's getting really late and it looks like the road to the campsite is closed, but oh no, it's not. They just left the barricade up. Or the hot spring that I was gonna go to is closed for the season. Like
that hurt. That hurt me. That's all she wanted to do, and it was closed. Yeah, but that happened to me 2 days ago. I was gonna go to Subway after I got back from my parents' house. It was closed at like 7:00.
What?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, dang it.
Steak and Shake does that to me. I go to the drive-thru at like 8:00, and I see an employee out there putting cones up, covering the drive-thru. And it's like, okay, well, I guess you're not getting my business because I'm not going inside during a pandemic.
Well, I don't think they're open inside.
I don't know. I don't know. They used to be open 24/7. We used to go there at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
all the ding-dang time. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
But there's not a lot that happens in the show, so we're not going to do an episode-by-episode breakdown.
Basically, the main show is that we have the main girl named Ren, and she is a solo winter camper
Yep.
So she spends a lot of her time just going around her area and camping by herself at various campsites.
Yeah. And she mainly goes in the winter so that she can be alone because there's not as many people camping.
Also, she doesn't like bugs.
Well, yeah.
I agree.
I mean, who?
And it's not as busy.
I'm not Weevil from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't like bugs. I don't think bugs are cool.
But first episode, you have her camping, and then this girl sleeping on a bench randomly shows up, and then she's lost. Rin helps her get contact her sister, and then it's kind of like a blossoming friendship.
Yeah. So we should note that she fell asleep, and then when she woke up, it was dark.
Yeah.
And she found Rin, and this is like crying, bawling her eyes out. Like, it's dark. I just wanted to ride my bike to see Mount Fuji because I just moved here, and now I left my cell phone at home. So she calls her sister, and then she's like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh, I'm camping." So it's kind of like piqued her interest.
Yeah. Then she slowly develops a fascination / love for camping.
Yep.
And it turns out that they go to the same school, so they like talk all the time.
She joins. Nadeshiko is the girl who fell asleep.
Yes, Nadeshiko is the other chick.
She joins the school's camping or outdoor activities club.
Outdoor activities club,
which is primarily focused on camping.
Yes.
And camping-like activities.
Yes. And wrapping yourself up in cardboard.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they had to. They're experimenting with ways to keep warm. But the Rin is notably not in that club because she is not a group camper. She wants to go by herself.
Strictly a solo camper.
Yes. But the show is basically. I mean, well, we're introduced to the other club members, which are
Aoi and Chiaki.
Aoi and Chiaki. Aoi is kind of bland. Doesn't really have much of a personality.
She's
Chiaki is kind of in people's business.
Yeah, she's the leader.
Yeah.
Or like president. And she's like very more outgoing. It's like
just a little bit of a prankster, I would say.
A little bit.
Like there's a scene where like she was texting Rin from Nadeshiko's phone, and Rin was like, "This isn't Nadeshiko texting, is it?" He's like, "All right, you got me."
You got me.
But like just a little more outgoing type. A little clumsy too, I would say. Like when she was interviewing for a job,
that was funny.
And she was gonna sit on the crate, and she like didn't turn the crate over, so she just like sat in the hole on accident. But so we're introduced to them, and then really and we're introduced to Ren's friend. Is it Inna?
Yes, Inna.
And she
doesn't camp.
Yeah, she doesn't really camp, but Ren's like one friend that we really see.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the cold. She's got a cute little dog. Who also doesn't like the cold, which they say is a Chihuahua on the show, but it looks a lot more like a Corgi to me. But
no, it's not a Corgi. It's not long. It's small. It just didn't look like a Chihuahua. It was too fluffy for a Chihuahua. Yeah, which that might be a different breed.
Yeah,
they might call it a Chihuahua in Japan.
Yeah, or it might have just been a translation thing, or the character getting it wrong. But she likes sleeping and she doesn't like the cold. Mm-hmm. And then the show is just those 5 characters going camping in different group formations. Yep. So sometimes Ren will go by herself. Sometimes Nadeshiko will go with her. Sometimes Nadeshiko will go with the camping club girls. And then eventually they convince Inna and Ren to go with the camp club for a Christmas camp out. That's like the last episode. They do meet on one of the campouts. It's Nadeshiko and Ren. Mm-hmm. They meet two girls that are camping. One of them doesn't look like a girl. One of them looks like a boy. And then that one of the other girl, the one that doesn't look like a boy, is drunk. It just that's how she goes camping. She goes and she starts drinking the Captain Rum.
No, that's her lifestyle. It's not because she's camping.
Oh yeah,
she's a drunk.
Yeah, it's brought up.
Yeah.
But then eventually she starts working at the school as a teacher.
Yeah, she's a substitute teacher. Her name is Toba. Her nickname is Miss Chug.
Yep.
And at the very end, she becomes the club advisor.
Yeah, it's kind of forced upon her.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, you guys, you guys do camping? Like, I guess I'll go. And then she goes camping with them for their Christmas camp out and just immediately starts drinking. It's like, are you allowed to do this with your students? I guess it's not a technical school
I think she
activity.
said it wasn't like a school function, so it's like, screw you, I'm gonna get drunk.
Yeah, so she just, before the tent is set up, she just sets up a chair, starts drinking and passes out. And they find her, it's like, we should really cover her up. She's gonna get cold. But so she was at the winter camp out as well.
That's basically the show. Girls camping, they teach you some camping stuff. It's just cute.
Yeah, they do like a little bit. That was kind of neat where it's like, this is a way that you can, start a fire with a pine cone, or this is a way to start a fire.
This is the difference between tents.
Yeah, or the difference between a winter and a summer sleeping bag. And
these are the two different types of coal. One's doesn't burn very quick, so you got to be careful.
Yep, it doesn't. It's hard to
catch.
Hard to catch type of thing. You might waste all your fire stuff. Mm-hmm. Different types of camp stoves and equipment. It's like I really wanted to buy a camp stove after that, and I did. I did buy a camp stove.
Bought a camp stove.
I've been meaning to have one in my collection for a while. So, but I guess should we talk about our camping trip then?
Yeah. Let's go. So,
well, there's a few things we wanted to try while camping. Like, I wrote down a list of things I wanted to try.
We went camping. We left Monday, and we were going to go till Wednesday.
Yes.
Tuesday morning, the forecast showed like 2 or 3 inches of snow coming, so we're like, F that, let's just go home.
Yep.
So we chickened out, but we stayed a night.
Well,
and they only stayed one night.
We should note that this is like middle of April.
That's true. It is middle of April,
and it's been really warm. So when we made the reservations, we were like, we'll come up Monday and we'll get everything set up and we'll just kind of chill and play Magic and board games and whatnot. Sit around a fire on Tuesday and then leave early Wednesday. But we just couldn't. We were not expecting it to be that cold. I don't really have a winter sleeping bag.
I didn't either.
Ours go down to like 40-ish.
Mine was 40.
But the high was going to be 46.
Yeah.
I wasn't too cold that night. It was starting to get cold.
No, I had extra blankets, but I was fairly good.
Yeah. I did not have extra blankets, but I was wearing 2 sweatshirts. I was fine.
I had long johns on. It's the first time I ever wore long johns.
Yeah. I just slept in my jeans and socks and wore 2 sweatshirts, and it was perfectly fine. Yep. But I was like, okay, we're going to be hanging out at this campsite, and it's going to be snowing and raining all day, and we're going to be cooped up. We slept in separate tents, because I've got a big tent and a small tent, and I snore, and you snore too, I'm sure. But
I think so.
I'm like, we're not going to get sleep if we're sharing a tent right next to us, and one of us is snoring.
Spoiler alert, I didn't get any sleep anyways.
I don't know, there was like a weird... I was not very happy with our campsite. But I should have done the research before signing up for it.
As a person who goes camping, that was a fantastic campsite for campers.
Yes.
Not for tents, though.
Yeah, no, it was all gravel.
Yeah.
Picnic table was nice. The fire ring was nice. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to be sleeping on the ground. And I didn't bring a mat with me. I didn't bring my cot. I did bring some hammocks, but we were in like right next to a ravine because it was at like a lake.
Yeah.
You'd go down the ravine and there would be the lake. So it was like there wasn't really a good 2 trees that I could set my hammock up in. Also, you don't want to lay down in a hammock when it's cold because there's no like the wind blowing underneath you will really cool you out. So it's like, okay, well, I've got to sleep on the ground, and I can either sleep on the gravel or there was a small patch of grass that was kind of slanted that I set up my second tent up on that and slept on the ground. And there must have been like, I don't know, a rock or something because my side was very hard, hard ground.
Well, yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
Ground was cold. It was hard.
So it's like I kept waking up because I slept on my side. I'm like, all right, this butt cheek's sore. Time to turn over. All right, now that butt cheek's sore. And I was finally able to fall asleep on my back, which I don't normally do. I normally sleep on my stomach. or side or something. But it's like, okay. And then after that, I got a solid, after that and my 2 a.m. bathroom, 20-minute bathroom trip, I was like, now I fell asleep for about 4 hours or something.
I might have gotten 2 or 3.
Yeah. Woke up. I was all for, like the night before, I was all for just hanging out in the bigger tent playing games. But then that morning I'm like, we're going to get so bored so quickly outside. Or we're going to have trouble cooking because we don't have like a cover for, a cooking area or whatnot. So let's just pack up and go home. We're on vacation. We want to have fun with our vacation. We don't want to be miserable. Let's just pack up and go home. We were going to have like my parents come out and visit just to have other people there. But
again, it was snowing. So.
I don't want to come up for hot dogs and grilled cheese that we're going to not be able to cook because we can't get a fire going and we don't have a cover for our stove. So
and it's snowing.
Yeah, and it's snowing and miserable. But
so it didn't go as planned, but I'm glad we tried it.
Yeah, I think we could do it again at some point. I think being a little bit warmer, and if I can set up my cot or something else, find a slightly better campsite, slightly better for tent camping campsite, because and the campsites I go to, they've all had like a small patch of gravel for pulling your camper into, but have been mostly like, here's a bunch of grass that you can then set up tents on.
The issue was that you also took one that was right by a ravine, so there's no really open spot there.
Yeah. Which I don't know if there was other ones, because I feel like they're all going to be
That was a big campsite. I'm pretty sure there were probably some more on the other side.
But I didn't do the research. I just picked this one because I'm like, I've been to this marina before. I know this area. I know how to get there, first and foremost. Didn't need directions. Looked it up once just to double check. But, and it was only like a 40-minute drive from where we live. So it was fine. The night before was good. We'll throw up some pictures on the Twitter that we went around and took, because that was another big thing of the show, is they would take scenery pictures. Yeah. The scenery wasn't super great. I got some okay lake shots.
And no wallpaper quality pictures.
I mean, you haven't seen them, so we'll be the judge of that. I think there was like a cool thing down at the beach of the cove that we were camped out in. Somebody had stacked up a bunch of rocks. So I got some shots of that I thought was cool. Then I stacked up some more rocks. I don't know. It's just something to do. Yeah. The grilled cheese you made was great. So
I'm a good cook.
You make good grilled cheese. Can't blame that. But there was a few things we wanted to try while camping.
That were mentioned in the show.
That are things that they did on the stove. I wanted to try to start a fire with a pine cone as the kindling for it. Yeah. Or the tinder for it. Couldn't find any pine cones.
No pine trees.
We wanted to set up a tent, but I've set up hundreds of tents.
Yeah. That was like my first tent ever.
So it's like, okay, we'll set up a tent, and I forgot to bring a hammer, but we do what they did in the show.
We used rocks.
We used a big rock to use the hammer. That was kind of neat. Let's see. So that's one thing we did. One thing we didn't do. We wanted to try what they call the Swedish candle, which is when you like bundle up the firewood in a circle and then start the fire inside of it. We were too lazy. We didn't do that.
Yeah. I don't know if that pit was the best
place to
try that, because it was fairly small.
We might have tried it if we had more time on
I don't
Tuesday.
I don't think we had enough wood.
We definitely didn't have enough wood for an all-day campfire, which is typically what I like to do, is have an all-day campfire type of thing. But you typically need a lot more wood than the 2 totes that we brought. So I want to try stargazing. It's too cloudy. Yeah. I saw the moon and I saw a star, and then it got too cloudy. We're also not too far from civilization, so I don't know what the light pollution would have been like.
I think you would have been able to see them.
But it was cloudy, so then all right, there's another thing gone. And the other thing we wanted to do was drink beer while camping. Oh yeah, which is something I don't think I've ever done while camping. which is not because I don't. First of all, I don't drink a lot of beer, or any alcohol.
Take sips of stuff, but I don't think I've ever really drinking a beer.
Yeah, so we did that. We bought beers, especially since we thought, okay, my parents might come up, or my brother might come up. We'll have something for them, and then we'll try it, see how it was. We're still not big alcohol drinkers, so
it wasn't very good.
It's like, all right, whatever. I would say that one was okay. It was like,
it wasn't the
Kugel
worst.
Summer Shandy. Yeah. Definitely not the worst one we've had, but couldn't taste the lemonade flavor.
That's what made me mad. I didn't taste the lemonade at all.
I got a little hint of it. But,
nope, I didn't get a single hint.
But it was just like, okay, I guess I better finish this, or else it'll go to waste. Now we've got 4 more of them sitting in our fridge that I'll give to my dad or my brother when they visit. So, but those are the things we did. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Set up a tent and drank beer. So, I would want to go camping again, but I want to do a little bit more research into the campsite.
And not do it when it's cold.
Yeah, not do it when it's cold. But it was also like, we went on a Monday and they had just opened up that Friday, for the season. So there wasn't too many people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. Fun little. I think we could have had more fun if we had maybe one or 2 more people there to play games with, and
if it wasn't so windy.
And if it wasn't so windy, and to, I don't know, if we were able to actually have the full day.
I wasn't getting my ass kicked in Magic.
Yeah, I didn't lose. That's for sure. And we only played 3 games.
I only played 3 games, but I got my ass kicked all 3.
Yeah. Just that happens sometimes.
Yep.
You do a little bit better when you're not a target and you can build up stuff.
Yeah.
My decks are a little too quick for 1-on-1 because I like playing 1-on-1. That's what they're built for. So, but
so I'm gonna go into a segment where I rate all of the campsites that we saw in the show.
Before doing that,
okay,
I want to go through some of my notes that I have about the show.
Okay.
Which we touched on some of them. The wallpaper. We got a lot of wallpaper shots. Should
we explain wallpaper shots?
Yeah, sure.
So a wallpaper shot is basically just a shot in typically anime where you look at it, you're like, that would be a good screensaver for a computer. Or your wallpaper for a computer.
Desktop wallpaper, yeah.
So anytime I see a good wallpaper shot, that'd be a good wallpaper.
Yeah, when we watched the movie Your Name, or the 4th time that we watched it, it was constantly you just going, dang, they make a nice wallpaper. It's a good screenshot or something like that we'd say. Just this is a beautiful movie. Yeah. I don't know.
So that's what a wallpaper shot is, and I would classify Your Name as a wallpaper movie. Term I just came up with.
Well, you just came up with a week ago when we watched the show. So
it's a wallpaper movie. It's good to look at.
There's a few things. What was the pink hair girl's name again? Nadeshiko. I wanted to bring up, there was something I saw on Reddit about anime characters that applied to her when somebody's like, oh no, in Japan, gluttony can be adorable. And she's definitely a gluttony is adorable.
Oh yeah, she's constantly eating.
And it's but she's still so cute. Is our Japan on it thing? Is eating adorable? Am I here for that?
Well, they're eating healthy stuff.
Yeah. Well, they're eating a lot of meat, though. Too.
That's true, but it's soup and stuff. It's not like greasy cheeseburgers and hot dogs, what we make when we camp.
It's true.
Just potatoes smothered in butter and cheese. It's just the best thing ever, but it's not good for you.
No. I wanted to note the Rin. Eventually, she starts using a moped, but before that, she will bike to just ride her bike there. And I'm like, she's got a pretty cool bike setup. I kind of want that.
I didn't notice the bike setup.
She's just had a way of having a bunch of bags strapped to the back of the bike, and it's I want that because I like.
She got that moped pretty quick though.
Yeah, she got it pretty quick. Yeah. It was I wrote it down on the first episode. Said I want that bike setup. I want to note that Ren has got the Bulbasaur hair, which we've talked about before. Okay. Not on the show, but whenever we run into an anime girl that's got the bun and the hair, It looks like Bulbasaur is Bulb.
Yep.
And it's a running joke with our friends that
I have a thing
you have a thing for Bulbasaur. Name a girl with Bulbasaur hair. There's Rin. There's Yui from Oragairo, which you've not seen, but you've seen a couple episodes of because I watched all of
Is that Snafu movie or show? Yeah, I think that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's where it came from, Yui. And Bulbasaur. You're attracted to all three of those. So
no, just Bulbasaur.
Just Bulbasaur.
The other ones have flowers. I don't go flowers. Just bulbs.
No, I meant Bulbasaur, Yui, and...
Oh, yeah, that's it. Those.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean Ivysaur. You lose the bulb.
those are my best girls.
So we got a girl with Bulbasaur
and
hair.
Gloom. Gloom's got a good bulb.
Gloom's got a couple of bulbs. I already talked about cute girls doing cute things.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about how the show is enabling... It's enabling me buying stuff that I hardly ever use. I bought some camping. I bought a lantern, too, because I didn't have a good lantern. I just had a flashlight. And you have lanterns, but forgot to pack them.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, well, let's go into town and buy a lantern. So it's like, all right, I just kept wanting to buy camping supplies. The show did a good job of making me want to buy stuff. And then the last thing I have is Secret Society blanket was a good recurring bit.
That was a good bit.
They just huddled up in their blankets.
I think the only note I might point out is that they go Christmas camping, and they actually go camping on like Christmas Eve and Christmas, which is like weird because for us it's like, the hell are you doing? What are you camping on Christmas?
Don't you have family things you need to go to?
How will Santa find them? Santa's not gonna find them on a campsite.
Are you doubting Santa's abilities?
You're right. Santa would find them.
Yeah,
and they would kill him.
It's a stranger.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
But I can talk about the cultural differences between Japan and us.
Just the last note was that Toba said that she watches a lot of foreign dramas, which made me think, does she mean American dramas?
Yeah, is that...
So is she like really into like Riverdale?
Yeah, she's watching... what was the show we mentioned in the last episode? One Tree Hill?
Is she a One Tree Hill stan?
Quite possibly.
I mean, if she is, she's best girl. I'm calling it. If Toba watches One Tree Hill, she's best girl.
But we don't know that.
I know.
So we can't say that. But that's a condition.
That's a condition.
We'll throw that condition
that's
on
an asterisk on it.
That's true.
Or whatever.
That if we learn later down the road that Toba likes One Tree Hill, then best girl changes.
My vote goes to her for best girl.
Yeah. But only if that fact becomes true.
Yes.
Okay.
That was all my notes that are worth mentioning, I think.
The only other note I had was, don't ask a high school girl in the woods if she wants meat.
Why not? It was funny.
I'm not going to explain that note. You're going to have to watch the show to figure it out. Because it's a good moment.
She meets Meat Guy.
Meat Guy. So I interrupted you to do the notes. Where were we going now? Were we talking about... You were going to rate the campsites.
I was going to rate the campsites.
Okay.
So, first campsite. First episode is called Motosoko. Motosoko? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lakefront / beach campsite.
Yep.
It's right on the lakefront. Not my cup of tea. Has a good view though of the lake / Mount Fuji, which is, I think almost every campsite has a good. Not all of them. Some of them have a cityscape, but a lot of them are around Mount Fuji.
Well, that's the ones that they can get to because they live around Mount Fuji. So,
but nobody's there, so it was extremely private. There's nobody else there. There's no tree protection though, so wind was a problem. It got very cold because of it. And the bathroom seemed very far away. I don't know how close. I guess I don't know how close.
Because there was a scene cut. I would say it's just slightly up the hill. Is probably where it was. It was probably she was pretty close to the.
And it didn't look like there were any good amenities like water or campfire stuff like that. It was just basically just a beach.
Yeah. I really like that campsite, but
I gave it a 6.
Okay. I would give it a 7. I would say.
Okay.
Mainly because I like the idea of camping out on the beach.
Okay.
It'd probably be pretty cool in the summertime to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you still have wind as a factor, but it's neat. It's got a great view.
Yeah.
You could probably get water up at the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, there was that little.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the site where we went to, where here's a power box and a
hookup,
a water pipe
or whatever,
spigot or whatnot. So, and the bathroom, the one we had was right across the road from the bathroom, so it was great. But that was like for a few sites, so there would have been probably about the same amount of walking on some of them, uphill and whatnot.
But yeah, I gave it a 6. I thought it was okay.
I'd probably give it a 7. It probably would have been funner in the summer.
Okay.
When you can actually utilize the beach part of it.
Probably. They did have free boats.
Yep.
And more than one boat, too.
I thought that was a different campsite.
I think there were multiple ones.
Okay.
There were boats on that one, right?
I don't remember that one having boats, but maybe there were.
Well, the other one had boats, too, because you could take your boat there.
Yeah, that was a plot. Yeah. That was a point. That Ishiko wanted to take the boat to bring their gear across.
Talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 2, they go to a campsite called Fumoto Campgrounds. It was an open field campsite, so just a big open field, basically. Yep. Lots of space, fantastic view of Mount Fuji. Looked like it had really great amenities, had bathrooms, had dogs, had a pond, and then had like a really good picnic area. So if you had like a family trip or something, boom, picnic area. But the firewood / the firewood stand was very expensive. So,
yeah, you couldn't have they didn't have fire rings. You'd had to have bought like a lightweight firewood stand to build your fire on.
This note would be only for me and my family, but it reminded me of a campsite called Dewey's that we used to go to. It's a big old dump, but it was just like kind of an open field. So a lot of times, multiple families in our family would like camp there all at the same time. And it was just kind of open, so you could kind of walk around, do whatever you want, which, yeah, I find is nice. I'm not always like a huge open concept type of guy. I tend to like a little bit more privacy, but if it's with like a family, I'm all for like an open area.
I didn't really like this one as much because I felt like there was nothing to do in an open field. I don't know. I mean, it's probably as much to do as in the woods, but I don't know. But I also, like I said, I've got hammocks. I like
so much room for activities, though.
I like stringing up a hammock, and there was no trees to do that.
That's true.
I like being like, I'm in the woods. I'm not just on a lawn somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know. That's me. I also like going, if there's like trails too, that's kind of a plus for me. Less so now, but I used to be more into hiking when I was a little bit more fit.
As far as we knew, there weren't any trails. There might have been,
at the place we went to, I didn't see any trails.
Yeah. I think it's more like a lake type of.
Yeah.
I think there might have been one.
We didn't have time to actually explore that because we were cold and leaving. So,
but I gave this an 8. I really like this campsite.
I'd give it a 6, I guess. I mean, we don't have anything strongly against it. I just don't. I don't like that open concept. It's just like,
again, I typically don't, but I think in this case it worked.
Okay. Also,
it had a great view. You could just sit there and look at Mount Fuji.
I guess. Yeah.
Let's see. So that was episode 2 and 3. Episode 4, we went to a place called Eastwood Campground, named obviously after Clint Eastwood.
Is that what it was named after?
That's what I'm saying. So it's canon for me.
All right.
Anyways, Eastwood Campground. It was forest, kind of hilly. This is the one that the group went to without Rin, right? Yeah. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Had free water and wood, which is really nice. I mean, we bring our own wood all the time because we own woods, so we cut it ourselves. But for people, that's really nice. A lot of people don't have that. Yeah. Fairly secluded. There were some spots that looked like maybe a little close, but as a whole, it's very wooded, so it's kind of pretty good for privacy. And had a great view of the city. Yeah, but the amenities were unknown. But I gave it an 8. I thought it looked really nice. I'd probably give that an 8. That was a great view. It was a neat, like, you're camping kind of on a cliff face, overlooking the city. Mm-hmm. It was almost like multi-tiered. Yeah, because they talked about later, we didn't see it when they were actually there, but they talked about it later where there was people like of the tier up above them that were kind of like, so it wasn't as private because there were other people around. We just didn't see them when they did it because they were focusing on
the beauty of it. They don't want to bring up the bad parts of that. But that was at the same time that
Ren went to a place called Nagano, which I think was a city. I think the actual campsite was called Takabachi.
Okay.
But that one was, again, more of an open concept, but it was on a mountain.
Yeah. There's a lot of, like, weird, like, things. She was just, like, going around like, looking at, like...
It had, like, a
here's some weird, like, structures and... there's like a watchtower or something that she was going to eat her food on.
No trees, great view, no amenities that we know of, but then the hot springs was closed.
Hot springs was closed.
This one didn't pique my interest. I give it a 5.5.
I give it I guess I'd give it about the same.
That one didn't interest me.
That one was, I don't know. No, I'll give it a 6 because it was kind of like when she was wandering around. There's a lot of like neat, like little things to see. Like I remember one campsite I went to. It's actually fairly local too. There's a tree that's growing sideways, like it got like really bent, so it goes straight up, and then it's like a.
Okay.
I'm making motions as if you can see it. You can't see it, but it's bent sideways. Not a full 90 degrees, but like 30 degrees sideways, 45 degrees or something. And then another tree grew up and like surrounded it.
Oh, really?
So it's two trees having sex. And it's just like, that's just like a weird thing that you can go on a trail and see that. And it's like, okay, there's just some weird like ruins / old buildings that have weird shapes. That's like, okay, there's something to go and do and look at and take pictures next to. So I'd bump it up to at least a 6. But yeah, it was kind of open and there was like no amenities to speak of that we could see. So
to me, I think it was just mainly because it was on a mountain. And the mountains don't seem very fun to me.
I've camped on a mountainside before when I went to West Virginia, like I said.
West Virginia.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because the bathroom was...
Mm-hmm.
It was uphill, and then it was on the opposite side of the trail when you had to go back downhill a little bit. So it was uphill both ways.
Yeah.
To get to the bathroom. Which, I mean, the way back was just, I don't know, a couple feet. But...
It just rolled.
Yeah. But it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I gotta go take a dump. Let's climb the mountain.
Okay, so next episode 6, Rin and Nadeshiko go camping together. They go to Shibiriko Lake.
This is the one that I know for sure had boats.
Yes.
And this is the one where we meet Toba and her younger sister.
Correct. Had a cool office / cafe like sign-in area. It had like a little dock where you could like sit and look at the lake. Lake was very pretty.
Yep.
Good view. Like I said, beautiful scenery. There was a lake there. Really great color of trees. Like it was like kind of in that fall area, so the trees were very nice.
Yep.
Had like your reds and oranges and stuff. Have to walk to the campsite, which I guess is okay. It didn't look like
it wasn't
too far
that big
walk.
of a lake.
Yeah.
Really, it's more like a giant pond, I would say. Which I mean, the camp I worked at had 2 lakes that were really just big ponds. So it wasn't that big of a deal to walk from there to the campsites that were on the other side of the lake. I kind of liked that they were over on that other side, so it was a little bit removed from the office, but it wasn't too bad. I liked this campsite.
Yeah, I did too. Amenities were unknown, but the bathroom was assumed because I think she had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and it seemed pretty close. Yeah. And I think there might have been like a little picnic area there too. Yeah. Because Nadeshiko was like browsing, and it looked like there was like a area there. And
there was a cool ghost story associated with like a ghost cow coming out of the lake.
There was a ghost cow story.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like it's like, hey, here's a story about this place that you're staying, and it's just the right level of spooky. Cause neither of us really like scary movies that much,
not really.
But I like a little spook here now and again. I like The Shining. I like Cabin in the Woods and Evil Dead. So it's just kind of it's a fun ghost story. It's like a ghost cow, whatever. Yeah. But Nadeshiko was
it like a ghost cow samurai or something?
Something. It was weird.
Yeah. But anyways, sites did seem close, which can be kind of a negative. But again, if you're with like family trip, that'd be really nice. But
oh yeah, it's like okay, kind of. I mean, the sites we were at were fairly close too.
Yeah, that's true.
So it can be. I mean, if you're camping next to rowdy rowdy people are going late into the night.
Some drunk old lady.
That sounds like it's got a story behind it.
No, it's just that episode.
Oh, okay, totally. Yeah, okay. I thought you had an issue with a drunk elderly woman camping next to you.
No, that would be my sister.
She's not elderly.
No, she's not.
But neither
she doesn't
Toga,
drink either.
So.
But yeah, I give it an 8. It might be a little lower, kind of depending on the situation, but I gave it an 8. It looked really nice. Yeah, especially the lake area.
I'd give it an 8. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a fun. It'd probably be fun playing in that lake in the summer too. Again, all they do in this show is winter camping. Yeah, but I've not seen season 2. Have you seen season 2?
Not yet.
No, okay, so I don't know if that ever changes or not. But it's all winter camping in this show.
Chiaki also visits a campsite, but we don't get enough info. But that's where she meets Meat Guy.
Yep.
We don't get enough info.
She scouts out that campsite and they decide not to go to it. But
after that, we get a couple episodes where they don't go camping. This is kind of like probably your kind of lesser episodes because they're not actually camping. It's more like setting up the Christmas episode. Also, this is where like Rin goes really far away and camps at a spot. I don't have that written down because we didn't get a whole lot about the actual campsite. I don't think.
Yeah, that was more about her
getting there.
Getting like, okay, this road is closed, or this road is. She thought it was close to the season, but it's always like just like a local pass through type thing.
I didn't write that one down because we didn't really. We didn't get anything about it.
She showed up super late to it, so it was dark, and I wouldn't really get any information on that one. But these are all campsites that actually exist.
From what I looked, these are all actual campsites.
You could theoretically go and camp in those spots, and I mean, we're always talking about it, but it's years away. We're hoping to go to Japan at some point to make the go to the Weeb Mecca. Yeah. We might try to incorporate a camping trip, but not until Miyazaki World opens up and we can go visit that attraction, Ghibli World, because that's. I want to go. I got to see that when that's a thing. So, and I'm probably not going to go to Japan more than once in my life, or more than once. It'd be a long time in between the trips. So, we'll have to wait for it for a little bit.
So. The last one they went to, actually,
the second last one because they went back to the first.
I did actually write down the one that we didn't really see that much. It's called Jinbagata. It was far away, open concept, great view. Water was turned off though. I just gave it a 6 because I didn't know much about it.
Yeah,
I just reading through my notes. I found it.
We'll throw a 6 on there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the last one they went to for the Christmas camping, where they all went, they went to a ice cream shop called Ranch in the Forest, which is kind of a weird name for an ice cream shop, if you ask me. But whatever.
Was that like a cafe?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's called Asagiri Kojin. Was the campsite. Very open, kind of like your first or that one we talked about. The second one. Yeah. Had an amazing view of Mount Fuji. Looked like it had nice accommodations, and also looked like it had baths. I don't know if that was actually on the campsite, but
or they were close to, but they definitely went to like a onsen, like bath.
Yeah, they didn't show it too much. So that was kind of all we got about it. But I gave it a 7. It looked nice.
Yeah, I'd throw a 7 at that. So
that was it. Those were my rankings for the campsites.
Yeah. So we've never been to these campsites, but that's how we recommend them. So maybe we'll incorporate that into a trip to Japan, or maybe there'll be way too many other things that we need to do and not enough time to do them. But or maybe we'll never go to Japan and we'll die 2 days from now. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Way to be positive.
Anything can happen. So let's move on. Let's go. We talked about we're in our top 10 spots now, right? We're moving into the.
No, let's. Do you have a rating for the show?
Oh yeah, of course. A rating for this show. I would give it a 7.
Okay, I think I'd give it an 8. I will say though, it was a little less engaging the second time watching it.
But you had just watched it a couple months ago, right? So it's not like you were...
It was pretty fresh in my mind still.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
But first time watching it, I'd say it's an 8. I really enjoyed it.
I give it a 7. It's not my cup of tea, but I like camping,
Mm-hmm.
and it was good for what it was. I like the characters. Some of them were a little less developed than the others.
Okay.
Some of them were fully fledged though. The Rin and I keep forgetting Nadeshiko. Chiaki was pretty well developed.
Yeah.
The other two, Aoi and Ina, were a little bland.
Yeah.
But, I mean, should we gotta transition into best girl now, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I would say I've been thinking about this. It's a tough call.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Rin.
I would agree with you. What was your tough call with, though?
I like Ina for reasons.
Okay.
She's got short hair and she likes sleeping.
Yeah.
That's great. That's some good stuff. I mean, I also like Nadeshiko. She's fun.
Yeah. She kind of scares me.
She's
though.
the inciting incident.
Yeah.
The story wouldn't happen without her. So.
No, I feel like I just like Rin the best, though. I think she's best girl.
She's like reading and camping, 2 things
Yeah.
I like. So. I'm a little bit more boisterous, though.
That's true.
I don't.
No, she's more like me. Just by herself, read a book. I wouldn't be reading a book, but bit of a loner.
I mean, I've got tendencies for being antisocial, but I'm definitely not as antisocial as you.
But yeah, so we're agreeing Rin is best girl.
Yes. Well, girl. Oh, condition.
Oh yeah, condition is
you
that
change your vote to
Toba is best
if
girl
she likes One Tree
if she
Hill.
watches / likes One Tree Hill.
Yeah. So
Forgot about
condition. Throw that condition on there.
Yeah.
That may never come up. But who knows? We haven't seen season 2. She might name drop One Tree Hill and change her vote.
Okay. Did you want to go over dibs?
Yeah. So let's move in the dibs count here.
So I have Rin.
Yep.
I had Sakura, who's Nadeshiko's sister.
Yep.
And I have Miss Chug, Toba.
Yep. And I've got everyone else except for we can't remember if anyone has Ina or not.
Yeah.
I think I do.
Yeah.
But part of the dibs rules are if you don't remember it, it doesn't count.
Yes.
So.
And it resets after every viewing.
Yeah, when you start a new viewing or a viewing with a new person,
Yeah.
it resets. Mm-hmm. So, if you can remember what it was, like if you
maybe
do like move on, like if there's a break between season 1 and season 2, and you remember who's got dibs on who, then maybe it'll carry over.
Yeah.
But it's a fresh start every time you to start a show again. Just
did you have any ships?
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't feel like all aboard really works this.
Yeah, we'll skip that segment this time. Maybe Ren and Nadeshiko, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Maybe Ren and Ina, because they're friends before the show starts. But again, I would say no.
Yeah.
No strong ships this time
no
around.
strong ships.
Maybe season 2 will change.
Maybe.
But it's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
So it's not there's nothing. I guess the characters did do some shipping. When they met Toba and her sister for the first time, they thought it was a couple camping together. And then later on, they were like, when they realized that Toba was who she was, because it took them a while to recognize their nice, proper teacher with
like
the
fiance or whatever.
Yeah, you went camping with your boyfriend. My what? Oh, you mean my little sister?
What?
Which that was a roller coaster. I called dibs thinking that the little sister was a woman with short hair. And then they're like, oh, that dude. Ren and Nadeshiko are like, oh, they're, that's a boy or whatnot. And I'm like, dang. Oh, well. There's precedences in place. It's okay to call dibs on the gender that you're not
on whatever you want.
Yep. And then we learn later. Ah, yes. It is a short-haired girl. Yes, my favorite. So it's
okay. So this ends that discussion. So to end the podcast, we're gonna reveal your number 9.
Yes. So we revealed your number 10 last week was Samurai Champloo.
Mm-hmm.
My number 10 was
Ergo Proxy.
My number 9 is going to be Welcome to the NHK.
Okay.
So if you've seen Welcome to the NHK,
I have.
right? So this is a this is a comedy, kind of sad.
Yeah.
Our main character is pathetic.
Mm.
He meets somebody who's like, "Hey, I'm going to turn your life around," type of thing. They kind of start a friendship. He's like, at points, he's like trying to get her to not.
What's the term they call them?
Neat. Hikikomori.
Hikikomori. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. It's somebody who doesn't like going outside. He'll go out like once a week to go buy groceries.
Yeah.
It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
There's several points where he's like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but there are moments where you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like, this is, but it's ultimately heartwarming. Yeah. I would say. There's a little bit of romance in there, but it's not really a focus, and it's not really like, it's not about that. It's about
maybe the best friend character of all time.
Yeah, which I watched the dub. The dub is amazing.
Yeah, it's a very good dub.
So I would definitely watch that. Classic good dub cast. Yeah. Give it a shot if you like darker, sadder humor. I mean, it was when I was getting back into anime. This is something that was shown to me that it's like, oh man,
yeah,
this is way different than the shows that I've seen.
This was one of the earlier ones I saw. It was really early into my anime watching experiences.
Well, because you didn't really get into it until I started getting into it in college, or senior year of high school.
Yeah, late high school.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. Welcome to the NHK. Yep. Look it up. I don't know where it's streaming at.
I think I watched it on Netflix, but I don't know if it's still there or not.
Maybe I watched it on Hulu. Maybe I took to the high seas. I don't remember.
The high seas. What the heck does that mean?
Pirated it.
Oh, okay.
I was a poor kid. I couldn't afford streaming services.
I definitely didn't pirate it. I think it was Netflix, though.
Okay. We might know. I don't know if a friend of ours has that on DVD now. He might. It sounds like something he would have. But yeah, that's my number 9 pick.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to talk about your number 9 at the end of it. You'll also notice we didn't do a rule of 3, not just because we were lazy. We're planning another special next week.
Yes.
We're going to call it Rule of Spring.
Rule of Spring.
So we're going to do 3
The more episodes. I say it, the more I like that name.
We're going to watch
a handful
of stuff coming out this season. The first 3 episodes of. We'll try to watch. I mean, we've been making a list. We'll watch as many of them as we feel like, but we're not going to commit to them. Yeah. If you want to tell us something that you've been watching that you want us to see, you can follow us at anime_territory on Twitter. You can comment on the YouTube video for this. I check it not every day, but every couple of days I check those things. So you can comment on there if there's something you want us to watch and talk about. I'll tell you some of the stuff right now that we'll probably get around to. We're probably gonna. I mean, I've already seen the first 2 episodes, so we'll watch. And you've seen the first episode. We'll watch. Quit toying with us.
Don't mess.
Nagatoro. Stop messing with us. Nagatoro.
Yeah, something like that.
Very memeable manga that's been adapted this season. So, there's some other things that have been kind of similar to it recently that we can talk and compare it to, but we're gonna watch that. We're probably gonna watch Kramer. Yes,
I don't know the full title. I just know Kramer's in it, but it's a soccer anime.
Yeah. So if you don't know, our background is our background as if it's a vital part of us. Yeah. But we were on the same soccer team in junior high and high school together. Ben was better than me at it.
Yep.
But only slightly. Towards the end, you're noticeably better, I would say. But we are kind of in the same league towards most of it. I was not good. But I don't want to say I was that bad. I put the work in.
Anyways, so we'll probably watch that.
I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff on the list, but I don't know what we'll get around to. But I'm hoping to get like 4 to 5. But who knows? Maybe we'll have time to get a bunch in. But Definitely, if there's something you want us to check out,
I mean,
preferably a season 1 of something. Because like I'm watching the new season of My Hero, but
yeah,
we don't want to talk about that. And
it'll be a new one.
Yes, it's got to be something new. If you want us to talk about it, tweet at us, comment on the YouTube video. You can subscribe to your YouTube if you want, but you don't have to. I'm a stranger on the internet. I'm not your dad.
Yet.
Not yet. Maybe one of these days. Is your mom single?
Uh-huh.
Let me know. Put it in the comments. All right. So next fortnight we're gonna be full on ahead. We'll do the just rule of spring.
Rule of spring.
All right. I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. If there are any Michaels in the room, please stand up.
Please stand up.
Okay, this has been Mike Check.
Who's Mike? What is he checking?
My cousin, Mike.